That's right.
Yeah, there we go. Now I can make eye contact with you. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday.
Yes, it is.
Honestly, I never know what day of the week it is
I
anymore.
know. Same.
It's yeah, much like Violet on Downton Abbey. I really don't know what a weekend is anymore.
Yes. You know what? I get some of my best work done on Sundays sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, every
knows you.
Sunday night is my big work night.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all upside down. But before we kick off the recording this episode, let's say hello to Orange Blossom and Tails.
Yes.
First in the chat. Welcome. Always good
Hello.
to see you too. And we'll give some other folks just a few seconds to join in, say hello before we launch in. We've got a little bit of news this week, and you had an exciting adventure at Dollywood that I cannot wait to hear.
You like my new Dollywood sweatshirt?
Ooh.
I have to say, they have upped their merch game a lot.
Was it cold enough to wear a sweatshirt there?
I mean,
so it's like 85 degrees here.
Yeah, it was a little. It's like mountain spring. It's hot during the day and freezing at night. You know.
Well, was it an early morning run? Well, we'll get all into this in just a minute.
Yes.
Those early mornings are tough because it's so freezing when you get out there to the starting line.
And then by 1 p.m. it's like 80. Yeah.
Yeah, you're sweating. Yeah. I also want to say hello to Chris Collins, Sunny Eclipse. Hello. Thanks for joining us today. All right. Yes. Well, I think we're just about ready to jump into this recording. Make sure got everything set up here. All right. All right. What do you say? You ready to do it?
Yes, let's go.
All right. Let's kick this thing off in 3, 2.
Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding.
Welcome to the Attractions Podcast. You are all clear for dispatch. Have fun.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Attractions Podcast, sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. I'm Seth.
And I'm Carly.
And we are here to talk to you about the latest and greatest in theme park news and more, as well as what's going on in our own lives. And I had a very boring week at home finishing the first draft of my 2027 Disneyland book.
Ooh.
Just sent it in late last night. So
Yay.
I do not have any exciting theme park adventures to talk about, except for one, which we'll get to in the news. But you had an amazing experience at Dollywood that I cannot wait to hear all about.
Yes, as you could tell by my new sweatshirt, I was at Dollywood this past weekend. I have to start by saying they have upped their merch game. I bought incredibly too much stuff. There's a new cinnamon bread t-shirt collection, really nice like quality pieces, I would say, where in the past I've never like loved their merch. I thought it could be better, and I feel like they're really doing a good job and taking my money, but that is not why I went to Dollywood. I went for the inaugural Run Dollywood race.
Yes. Everyone associates theme park running with Walt Disney World, but Dollywood is getting in on the action. And how did they do with their first ever race event?
So I have done the Disney races. I have, a little bit of PTSD from their early mornings and, packet pickup at the race expo and lines.
I was going to say, if you think rope dropping a regular theme park day is intense, the logistical nightmare of a big Run Disney event, it's just massive, right?
Right, yeah. So I swore them off. I said I was retired, but then when Dolly announced their version, I'm like, I have to do this.
Got to do it.
I have to say everything from packet pickup to, just the race itself, logistics were flawless. I gave them my feedback because I didn't know what to expect. I was nervous about like parking. So I got there super early. They had constant tram shuttles running to bring people to the race. The race experience was so fun. You had Miss Lillian out there. And one of my favorite parts was instead of giving out like energy gels, like how people pop those, they had cinnamon bread. Which is like crazy. Yes. So they actually
if you're going to carb load, it might as well be cinnamon bread.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, the day before the race, I did have a mini cinnamon bread. And then during the race, they had these custom mold, because cinnamon bread is huge. So you really run and eat that. So they had these custom molds made. And it was almost like I would say like a size of a donut hole. So I'm calling it
Oh,
like cinnamon bread bomb, and it was
cinnamon bread
so-
munchkin
yes,
almost.
it
Yeah.
was amazing.
Wow.
It was so much fun. I did the 10K, which went through Dollywood and Splash Country. It was just a great experience. Everyone was like in a good mood. They had a ton of people who were dressed up like Dolly Parton with the wigs and outfits, a lot of good costumes. I did not do costumes, but it was just such a wonderful experience. And I think I'm going to be making this a tradition. It was definitely a lot of fun. I had a lot of friends that came, and they're going to do another one in September because it was so popular. So I think I'm not retired from theme park races anymore.
It sounds fantastic, but the one question I had is, Central Florida, doing a race around Disney World, it's flat. We don't have much elevation changes. Dollywood's kind of in the side of a mountain.
My
So
gosh.
how are your knees doing?
So my legs are jello today, or they were mostly yesterday. I'm not going to lie. I was really, really nervous because I don't run, like I'm a walker, but I wanted to run this race because I was like, I could do 6.2 miles. I can't do a half marathon, but I'm so used to Florida where I'm not going to lie. I've done several half marathons at Disney with no training and was fine. And I'm not like an athletic person because it's flat. This was really hard. It was probably like, getting that medal was like, I would cherish it because I was like, I really worked hard for those 6.2 miles. It's not like a fun thing. It was difficult. Yeah.
I gotta say, you earned that because I looked at the results, and you had a really decent rating in your age group.
Couldn't believe that.
And you were at like an 18-minute mile pace, which I can barely do on flat.
I was 14-minute mile.
Oh, 14-minute mile. I'm sorry.
Yes,
Yeah. Really good, really impressive pace. So
I did not think that was going to happen again. I didn't train with any running. I only trained with walking, and I was like, I'll just run the day. And I did. And I don't know how I did truly. Like the last 2 miles were so hard because it was like straight hill to end. Yeah. And it was really hard, but very rewarding, much more rewarding than the Disney races just because of, it's flat. It's easy.
Well, I hope you reward yourself with a massage or a soak in a hot tub or something.
Yes. Oh my God. I took the longest shower known to mankind after, but it was incredible. I highly recommend doing it. I think there was like in my division, I think like 1,500 people. So it's not like these seas of people like you're used to if you do the Disney races, which are also fun. This is a little bit more, I would say, like approachable. It was a great experience. I'm really happy I did it, and I will definitely do another one.
All right. Well, if you are a Run Disney veteran, you want to try something new, and you're going to be around Dollywood this fall, maybe plan on that September race and
I will
Carly out on the.
There were a lot of people in Run Disney gear at the race. So I definitely noticed there was like a lot of people that were maybe coming in, maybe their first time at Dollywood, but it was so awesome. And congrats to them, because I don't know how you pull off an event that huge and also navigate like regular park operations. My race was at 8:30. So it was like right up into the time of when, people are lining up to rope drop.
Universal should pay attention to this. I think they tried a race once.
Yes, they did. They did a 5K. I didn't do it, but I wish I did because it went away just as quickly as it arrived.
I want a race that goes around the original campus and then has you going down the bus lanes all the way to Epic Universe.
Oh my God.
I want people jogging on that big flyover.
Yeah, no, I would definitely do that. But I highly recommend. I love Dollywood anyway. This was so fun. So definitely something to consider.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing that. That sounds like an incredible experience. And I did not have anything that much fun over my week, but I did have one little theme park visit that we will talk about as we jump into the news in the queue. All right, first up in this week's news, we are starting at Universal Orlando, where CityWalk welcomed back the Universal Legacy Store, but it's not quite the old Legacy Store that you might remember. Attractions staff was out there for the ribbon cutting, and we've got a video up on our YouTube channel with a walkthrough of the store. I didn't make it out for the ribbon cutting, but I did make it by later that afternoon on opening day and took a look around. If if you remember, this is the store that is kind of in the center of the CityWalk Plaza.
Yep.
And it, until very recently, was the Epic Universe preview that had the big model of Epic Universe. Well, you don't need a preview for a park that's been open for a year anymore. So it's gone back to what it was before, which was the Legacy Store, which is referencing old school Universal properties, chiefly E.T., Jaws, Back to the Future, and throw in some Universal monsters. But like I said, it's not quite the Legacy Store that you remember. We've got some pictures of what it was like back in 2021. And it had a lot of props and artifacts from the old parks.
That was my favorite part.
I remember there was some props from the old Terminator show that I remember from when I worked on there. Ghostbusters. They had Hagrid's motorbike on display. Some really great artifacts. Well, all of that is completely gone.
No, do you think it went to that exhibit that's, at the Franklin Institute?
Maybe some of it is. Maybe some of it's just in storage. I'm not sure where all of that is. But basically what we have now is a store that has a lot of graphic styling, a lot of flat images, but no actual physical props or things to look at beyond this new art style, which I guess they are calling it 80s inspired, retro styled artwork.
Yes, it is. As the article says, it is very much in theme with that, like streetwear collection they have called the Universe. Very much in line with that.
So I want to be careful here. I don't want to get myself in trouble or disrespect the artist behind this in any way, because this both the graphic design of the shop and also the new waves of merchandise, starting with new Jaws merchandise, is from a really talented graphic artist, Tom Whalen. He's done a lot of collaborations with big brands. And I think if this was in the old Universe shop that they used to have, I would love this line. But and this is strictly my own personal aesthetic opinion, to me this style looks like the 80s and 90s as interpreted by someone who does not actually remember the 80s and 90s. It does not read in any way as having the authentic texture as someone who worked there in the 90s of what things looked and felt like. It very much feels like they took the Legacy Store, which has a lot of the kind of Epic Universe graphic designs on the floor and the walls still there, and just kind of slapped this vaguely retro stylized look on top of it. So I'm hoping that this is just a first draft and the shop will evolve over time.
Yes, I mean, it's definitely a big difference from the former store.
I mean, the former store was the kind of thing you could go in and look around and enjoy without actually buying anything, because there was some entertainment value to the visuals. This, we've got some photo ops for, like I said, the monsters, Jaws, Back to the Future. The Back to the Future photo op of a flat cardboard cutout of the DeLorean. It's fine, it's cute, but this is not something that I'm going to come back to on a regular basis unless there's some major updates.
Exactly. I loved looking around that former shop. It was just like a little treasure trove of all little Easter eggs.
The other thing that I do not understand in this shop, for something that's the Legacy Store, they have devoted the largest single area, the entire center of the shop where the Epic Universe park model was, is now all blind boxes, which is fine. I get that blind boxes, trends started in Japan, brought over here, super popular, these mystery boxes where you don't know exactly which toy you're going to get. But none of these, as far as I can tell, are Legacy Universal related properties. Harry Potter, you've got a lot of anime, Hello Kitty, but it's not a collection of Back to the Future blind boxes or ET blind boxes.
Right, that's what I want.
Whatever random blind box that you can get inside any of the other big stores in the parks now.
So maybe they should have just called it the Universe Store, like there used to be, you know?
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
that might make a little bit more
if
sense.
this was a portion of the Universal Studio store that's just across the way, I'd think it was great. But I think it's a fundamental misunderstanding about what legacy means and what old school nostalgic Universal fans want.
Yeah.
They want a line of merchandise that is recreating vintage T-shirts, recreating vintage souvenirs, that, you know, really bringing back in an authentic way those early 90s years of the park. And this is like a nice reinterpretation, but it's not legacy.
Yeah. I think
it's
if they just
kind
called
of
it something
fan
else.
service to legacy.
Yeah, exactly. It's like just a little bit misleading, but I'm excited to see it myself.
Let me once again clarify, that is my personal biased subjective opinion, and not necessarily the official position of Attractions Magazine or its owner.
Yes.
And I do want to make clear, I think that the artist is really, really talented, and I would love this collection in a different context. So
yeah, agreed.
All right, moving right along from one shopping center to another, drive down the road from CityWalk to Disney Springs, and you can now get some free beauty products in celebration of the Devil Wears Prada 2. It's arriving in Orlando, as well as Los Angeles, New York City, and San Francisco, with promotional pop-ups tied to the new sequel.
I will say I love free, so.
Well, here's what you can get. The movie's coming out on May 1st, and they've already launched a limited time, quote, in case of style emergency kiosk at select theaters nationwide. And one of the special locations where you can find this is the AMC Dine-In over at Disney Springs at Walt Disney World. So it started on April 27th, which was yesterday as we're recording it. It runs through May 3rd. All you have to do is stop by that kiosk at the movie theater, and you can get some complimentary beauty and styling samples inspired by the film, including some aerosol products from the Tresemme A-List collection.
That's what I use, so maybe I need to go stop
there.
Yes,
just like see the movie like 12 times in the course of 3 or 4 days, and you can stock up on months worth of supplies.
I am very excited for this movie. I think it's just so crazy that it was over 2 decades ago and it's still so relevant, and hype is, you know, crazy over this.
You can find this kiosk over in the west side lobby of the AMC Dine-In, and there's already some creator footage on Instagram of it. It's pretty much just a touchscreen vending machine. So go out and check that video out. And in addition, on April 30th only, they're going to be giving out a limited number of special golden tickets that give up to 32 guests a special on-site styling experience before they go in to see the movie. So book your tickets for the 30th if you want a chance at that.
That was really cool.
We've also spotted a giant Devil Wears Prada 2 stiletto shoe in that kind of over by the World of Coke area, just past the Wolfgang Puck, that large covered breezeway with the shops. It's in there if you want to take a picture with it. And if you're not in Orlando, you can find similar activations at AMC Century City, Regal Irvine Spectrum, Regal Hacienda Crossings, San Francisco, and Regal Union Square. Ooh. So check that out. Are you excited for the new movie?
I am actually.
I know my wife wants us to see it for sure.
Yeah, you know, I feel like it's very like fan servicing, it seems, and this was just such a great movie back in the day, and it still holds its own. So yeah, I think it'll be great.
I think the best thing to come out of the sequel is probably there was an interview of Meryl Streep and Anna Wintour together talking about it. That was a really good interview. So, all right, next up, there's a pretty big movie theater there at Disney Springs, but one even bigger is coming just 90 miles from Walt Disney World. EVO Entertainment has announced that they are going to build the world's largest movie screen in Clearwater, Florida, as part of a new $50 million family entertainment complex. And I want to clarify one thing. The headline, we say that this is 90 minutes from Walt Disney World. If by some miracle there was not a single other car on I-4,
Yeah.
perhaps it would be a 90-minute drive. More realistically, it's 90 miles, which can easily take you 2 hours. But that drive might just be worth it if you are a fan of big screen movies, because this screen is going to be absolutely ginormous.
I can't even wrap my head around it. Like, I'm just
No,
trying to picture it, and I can't. My brain just busts.
All right. So this is part of a 2-story, 83,000 square foot entertainment complex that they're building. It's privately funded, not being built with local money, apparently. And the center of it's going to be a 7-screen multiplex. But the headliner here is the world's largest movie screen, which right now, the biggest movie screen in the world is in Germany, and that's only 127 feet wide. By comparison, if you've ever been to the AMC in Lincoln Square in New York City, that's America's biggest movie theater. That's only 101 feet wide. This new one, 130 feet wide.
Wow.
And in terms of height, I got to do the math, but the one in Germany that's 127 feet is 69 feet tall. So this, I'm guessing, is going to be just over 70 feet tall.
Wow.
That like a 7-story building.
That's insane.
That's yeah.
How do you see, like, if you're sitting in the front, how do you see
Oh my
it?
God. Can you imagine like sitting in the front row? Because even if I go to like the the big screen, not even a real IMAX at Universal Orlando, I have to sit at least halfway back.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
same.
I end up with an aching neck.
Yes.
So can you imagine looking up at a 70-foot screen?
Right. I'm just trying to figure it out. Like, do they have the seating further set back than a normal movie theater?
You know what? I do not know. I can't wait. Hopefully I will see it in person.
You're gonna have to go for science.
But for science, in addition to just being enormous, it's also going to look and sound pretty good, because this is going to be the first multiplex in the world where every single screen has Dolby Vision projection and Dolby Atmos sound. So it will look and sound good. It will not be IMAX certified, as far as I can tell. But they do have an agreement with Dolby Laboratories that they announced back in April, earlier this month at CinemaCon, that they're going to be deploying this technology across 17 different EVX premium large format screens.
Wow.
At 8 cinemas across the country, and I guess this one is the centerpiece of it. So big partnership with Dolby that they're going to want to make this a flagship location.
That's awesome, and what a great location.
Yeah. Clearwater is mostly known for being the headquarters of Scientology. The downtown area has been a bit depressed, but this between the movie theater, they're also going to be building under this one huge roof bowling lanes, laser tag, arcade, sit-down dining, interactive activities. This is part of a historic restoration around Cleveland Street, and they're going to be also working on affordable housing, streetscape. So they're really hoping that this is going to help turn that area around.
I hope it does. Yeah, I mean, that's so classic Florida, Clearwater.
Yep. And of course, it's not that far a drive from Busch Gardens, Tampa. So hit a few roller coasters and then go see a really big screen movie. The only question is
perfect, because there's like weather is so testy, and especially if you want to do like a day that's chill and not in the sun. Like,
yes,
this is a great option.
The only question is when this will be done. We do not have any confirmed opening date, but we will keep you posted on this. All right. And next up, we have a couple pieces of breaking news during this week that we wanted to catch you up on. This one kind of, I think, made national news. We talked before in the past about Sloth World, a planned sloth habitat that was going to open on iDrive. That is no longer happening after a wave of really tragic news. I think the story broke back on April 21st. It was first reported by Inside Climate News, and then my newspaper, the Orlando Weekly, picked it up. That, I think, kind of got the ball rolling. I don't want to dwell too much on it because it's a really sad story, but basically 31 sloths who had been brought to Orlando in preparation for the opening of this Sloth World exhibit ended up passing away. And they found other sloths in very poor condition. There was a lot of back and forth in the media over the conditions that they were kept in, diseases. After kind of fighting it for a few days, the owner announced that they were going bankrupt and never going to open. But there is a happy ending, which is that the 13 sloths who were remaining have been brought to the Central Florida Zoo. And they say the 13 are still alive. As of 24 hours ago, there was one of them who was still in kind of touch and go condition, who was very weak. But they're optimistic about all the rest of them. And these animals are not on exhibit now. I don't know if they ever will be on exhibit, but they're going to be cared for by the veterinarians at the Central Florida Zoo. So at least it's kind of a happy ending for those guys.
Yeah, it's so sad. I mean, it's anything with animals in captivity is such a touchy subject, and yeah, this is just I remember when we reported on this announcement.
There are a lot of questions. People love sloths. They're just such charismatic animals.
Mm-hmm.
I know that ever since Zootopia came out with a Flash character, my wife's been slightly sloth obsessed. So I totally get people wanting and they promoted this as something that was sloth conservation. They said that the sloths were threatened in the wild and they were doing this to protect them. And obviously at least for the 31 that passed away, they were definitely not being protected.
No. Yeah.
So at least these now are being cared for in a reputable facility. Okay, and the other breaking news is Walt Disney World continues to melt my brain by insisting that Halloween now starts before my birthday. And as a Leo, that is just plain
wrong.
Yes, we have official confirmation. This year's Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party will return on the earliest date ever. August 7th will be your first chance. I mean, kids are not back in school in most states on August 7th. Summer, August 7th is still summer to me. But you will be celebrating the fall pumpkin season with Mickey and Jack Skellington and everyone at the Magic Kingdom, starting for 38 nights, starting on August 7th. This is the same number of nights as they had this year, but they're starting it a little earlier, I guess, to spread it out further. Previously, the earliest they ever did it was August 9th back in 2024, but it's been creeping up year after year. Pretty soon, it's going to be like 4th of July, next day, Halloween.
You know what? My issue, I love Halloween. It's my favorite season. But the issue is, I noticed this last year, I'm getting fatigue by like end of September.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, I'm kind of ready for Christmas at that point. I don't want to feel that way. And I hate feeling that way.
Yeah, we're gonna be celebrating Christmas on Memorial Day pretty soon.
Right.
Or Labor Day, I guess.
Yeah.
So a few other notable changes about this. The one change that hasn't happened is the ticket price. The tickets are $119 to $229, which is the same range as last year. That is up $30 from 2024, but at least they didn't jack up the top
Yeah.
end again. There's going to be a new dance party in Tomorrowland's Rocket Tower
Ooh.
Plaza stage. We've had Stitch before do dance parties, but this time Stitch is going to be joined by Lilo and Stitch's girlfriend Angel, who
Very
I
cute.
I don't watch the cartoons or anything. I had no idea he had a girlfriend. So
I didn't know that either. I thought he was just kind of like neutral or something.
and one very intriguing little tidbit in the wording about running into a witch or three while collecting treats implies that maybe they are finally going to incorporate characters into the treat trails, similar
Yes.
to they do in
Oogie Boogie.
DCA out at Oogie Boogie. In Orlando, it's very much you wait in a treat trail that's just a line waiting to get treats, and then you wait in a line to see a character. And I like it so much better the way to Oogie Boogie, where the two are combined, and the characters often are villains who are heckling the people waiting in line,
Feisty,
and
yes.
it
Oh,
makes the wait so much more entertaining. So if they are doing that, then yay to them.
yes, I love it. I love Oogie Boogie, and because I'm also the type of person that's not going to wait in line for an hour to meet a character,
Mhm.
and this just like moves so quickly because you're
Yeah.
kind of constantly winding, and it's just such a more, I don't know, immersive character experience.
We don't have any exact confirmation on returning entertainment, but we're assuming that the big ticket items like the Boo to You Halloween Parade and the Hocus Pocus show and the fireworks will likely come back along with the Halloween versions of rides like Space Mountain and Mad Tea Party. Of course, you got all those character meet and greets and lots of special food to spend money on.
Yes, it's an expensive night, but it's a fun night.
I only do it once every few years. It's not an every
Yeah.
year tradition for me. But I will say that comparing it head to head with Oogie Boogie, I feel like, especially since Oogie Boogie dropped the World of Color version they did the first year,
Mhm.
and uh, I feel like Mickey's Not So Scary and in Magic Kingdom is a better value than Oogie Boogie for me.
I like the
Um,
vibes of Oogie Boogie better. It's just kind of like
yeah.
an after hours event, you
Mm.
know?
It is
Um,
definitely a more adult-oriented event
yes,
compared to
yes.
Mickey's, yeah. But you get the parade at both, but you only get the fireworks in Orlando. So, all right. Well, that is going to bring us to the end of the news in the queue. And before we jump into our main attraction, we want to hear a word from our sponsor.
The Attractions Podcast is brought to you by MEI and MEI-Travel. Whether your next vacation is a magical trip to the theme parks, an exciting adventure to the pyramids of Egypt, or just a relaxing cruise on the turquoise waters of the Bahamas, MEI-Travel provides premium service and expert advice to help you get the most of your vacation. They are always free of any hidden fees or costs to you. Visit them at mei-travel.com.
It's time for the main attraction!
And for this week's main attraction, we are headed to the West Coast, where Universal Fan Fest Nights 2026 has kicked off. It's back for its second year. We had our correspondent, Melanie Gable, there on opening night and has given us some great tips and tricks for the overall event. Plus, we have an in-depth look at one of the big new additions, the Harry Potter Forbidden Forest walkthrough experience. And it really does look like watching the videos and seeing pictures that they knocked it out of the park with this one. And I'm starting to have some FOMO, some regret that I am not going to make it out there before May 16th.
Yeah, same. I went to this event last year. It was like the best event I'd ever gone to. It was incredible. But, I like Back to the Future and Star Trek. So I feel like your mind does tricks on you if you are, love a fandom so much. And I like that they change it. But for me this year, none of what they have is like personally something that I care about. So I think I would still have fun. But
I agree 100% that the IPs they had last year were definitely more appealing to me. But from watching videos and seeing the reviews, regardless of the actual IP, it seems like a lot of the operational and design elements of the event have been improved in some significant ways. So, just to remind you, in case you haven't listened to us in the last, I don't know, 3-4 months that we've been talking about this, this is an event that started on April 23rd at Universal Studios Hollywood. It's running on 11. I guess 12 total of 12 select nights between the 23rd and May 16th. And this is a separate hard ticket after hours event, not included in your regular admission. But honestly, admission tickets start like at $79 for this, incredibly
Very
reasonably
affordable.
priced. And the event goes all the way till 1:30 in the morning, though we do have a note for you on that. You're going to want to show up early for this.
Yes.
There
I
is a
will say
lot to do.
I was hardcore about it last year, and I still didn't do everything in one night. There's a lot.
It does have a 1:30 end time, but some attractions are going to close long before that. In fact, the Mario Kart ride, because in addition to these special activities, you can also do most of the major rides. Mario Kart ride closed at 11 p.m. The whole Nintendo World area closed shortly after midnight on opening night. So prioritize, make your list of your must-dos, and knock them out as early as you can. And even if you have Express, you're probably still not going to squeeze everything into one night. There's just a ton to do. So make a list of what's most important to you. Also, it's warm during the day, but it gets cold out on that mountain at night. It really, the temperature can really drop. So wear layers and hydrate. You're probably going to want to eat early. Maybe have a big dinner before the event starts, because the lines for the food, there's a lot of special food, but the lines can get long, and you don't want to spend a lot of time on food. Unless that's your thing. If you want to spend the whole night Instagramming your food, do that. But
yes, I ate like a meal before I went last year and ended up not, eating one from there because it just wasn't a priority. But yes, the lines do get long, especially for the specialty items.
And a bunch of the stands are going to close down early. They're not going to be open all the way till closing. Shout out to Lard Lad Donuts in Springfield for being one of the few places you can get a coffee after midnight. Okay, so let's jump right into it. We have talked before about the various elements of this event. The big headliner, I think, that most people are excited about is Scooby-Doo versus the Universal Monsters. This, again, kind of like the Back to the Future, takes you out onto the set, the backlot set. But it seems like it's a more guided experience this year. They give you a map, a little booklet of clues to solve. So there's an actual interactive task as opposed to just being an observer. And there's a bigger payoff, when you're done going around all the areas, talking to all the characters. Then you finally go into a finale that's like a little episode of the Scooby-Doo show with a mix of live characters and projections. And it seems to be a more satisfying narrative. People, I think, for the Back to the Future would drop in and not sure where they were supposed to be at any given time.
So for the Back to the Future, if you timed it correctly, you kind of went through the story, but it was continually going. So if you arrived there, halfway through, then maybe you missed some parts. But I will say it was the most amazing experience ever. It was so well done. So I can imagine that this is just the same.
Yeah, the Scooby-Doo thing's getting really good reviews. Like I said, take a look at our videos that we posted online. The thing that's the hit that has surprised me the most, and I guess it shouldn't have, because One Piece is hugely popular, both the original anime, the live action version they've done. Last year they had meet and greet characters who drew huge lines. Well, this year crowds are just swarming the Waterworld Stadium because they've turned the Waterworld show into a One Piece show. It's an adaptation of the show that they did at Japan for Halloween. And I got to say that the Japan version to me was way too long and Yeah, I don't speak Japanese, so obviously it didn't make any sense. This show doesn't also make a lot of sense to me because I don't know any of the characters, the plot, or the story.
I never heard of One Piece until this event last year.
But I will say all the characters are really like colorful and distinctive. There's a lot of physical comedy, and there's some really cool stunts that are not just the same Waterworld stunts, repackaged. So this is one that I can see them bringing back year after year for sure.
Absolutely. I will say when I went to the event last year, about 50% of the people attending were in a One Piece outfit. Whether it was a t-shirt or so I was like, okay, I get it. This is huge. I just don't know what it is.
Yep. But the thing that I want to dive into, because we have an in-depth article on it, is the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Forbidden Forest Search for the Hippogriff walkthrough experience. And they have transformed what is normally just the extended queue for the Forbidden Journey ride into a whole walkthrough experience. It's hard to believe that this is just normally a bunch of switchbacks, because they filled it with trees, animatronic puppets, lighting effects. It really feels like you are out there in the Forbidden Forest.
I mean, the footage I've seen in this looks incredible. It's again, it's hard to believe that you're just in an extended queue.
So the way this works is that you start out you kind of enter the normal Forbidden Journey main queue through the castle basement, and they send you up through the express lane, and then you make like a U-turn by the room of before the room requirement, by the Defense of Dark Arts classroom, and then you go back out. It's really bizarre. You go back the wrong way through the greenhouse, that kind of becomes the queue. You might spend a while there because on opening night it was a 90-minute wait for standby for this.
Wow.
So this is somewhere where your Express Pass is going to come in really handy. Express Pass cut our reporters' wait down to about 15 minutes instead of 90 minutes. And considering the attraction only runs about 12 minutes long, you're going to have to judge how big a Harry Potter fan you are. And this is also one
crazy to me, because last year I don't think I waited for anything. It was.
And this is also one where we said you want to get there early. You definitely want to make sure that the sun is completely set before you go through this, because lighting is key to this experience. Anyway, the second tip is once you get through the line, once you're grouped into a group that's going through, try to work your way to the front of that group and keep as close to the professor as you possibly can. Because at least on opening night, they were dispatching pretty large groups through this, and the people who are at the very tail end of the group, since you're basically walking through the queue line, people at the very tail had trees and stuff obscuring their view of the effects. So stay as close to your professor as you can if you want to really see all the effects and the storytelling. The one thing I will say, the videos I've watched and both of the times that our reporter went through, they said the performers were fully committed, and that really impressed me, because watching the Star Trek experience that they had last year and the last year's version of the Dungeons and Dragons, sometimes it almost seemed like they were doing a parody of the IP. It was like the acting was kind of almost so broad and comical at points. It was almost like they were making fun of it. And they just were totally dialed in and taking it really intensely. I think that really adds to it, to make the magic seem real.
Absolutely. I mean, so much of this event is dependent on the actors. I mean, truly, they're the ones bringing it to life. And if it's not happening, you're not going to be buying what they're selling. And Back to the Future last year, they were so committed. It was wild. I felt like I was in the movie. So I feel like this is the similar situation.
So on your way in this journey to find the missing hippogriff, you're going to encounter owls, pixies, the Monsters Book of Monster. There's some spiders. There's a centaur, and you're going to have to fight through some devil snares. And it's kind of an interactive thing where they have everyone who's got a wand hold up your wands and cast the spell with some really impressive lighting effects. And of course, the most impressive effect is this full-sized hippogriff.
Wow.
I don't know how much is animatronic or if it's all just puppet. The movement of it was fantastic. I think the movement has to be a puppet because it doesn't move like an animatronic does. It feels like it has a real living energy behind it. And really a lot of personality. Just adorable and way more expressive.
Dragons is also incredible.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Person, yeah.
Yeah, I know that Dungeons Dragons puppet was a partnership with the Jim Henson studio.
Yes,
I'm not sure who worked on these.
I'm assuming that
they're
this
just stunning.
Not because that would be, I don't know, just weird. But yeah, I mean, this looks so impressive too.
Yeah. And of course, it isn't a special event without some special food. You can get fish and chips with mushy peas if you're into that, along with curry chicken and a Sunday roast, some other items. So check that out, as well as the special Forbidden Forest merchandise, including a spirit jersey, mug, and a special hippogriff stuffed animal.
Yeah, this looks great. Again, this is such a great event. It's so crazy how much work and time goes into this, and it's such a limited run. You know,
right?
It's like I was like, I can't believe this last year. This has only lasted like 2 weeks.
I mean, in terms of the prop and set design and actor training, it seems like almost as big an investment as doing a Halloween Horror Nights.
100%, yeah.
But it just lasts a few weeks. And I said that the tickets are so cheap. They only start at $79. Cheaper, I'm sorry, I was wrong. They start at $74. I mean, like, even if you just went in, spent the $74 and just ignored all of the special attractions and just did the rides, you could just go in and ride Mario Kart. You get your money's worth.
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, I don't think I did any rides out of last year, and it seemed like no one else was because you're there for a specific reason. But if you go into it like, I'm going to use this as my park day, it's genius.
So as I said, check out our YouTube channel. We've got more coverage of this. I will have to just experience it vicariously this year. Yes. Maybe next year we'll make it out there. All right. Well, that is going to just about bring us to the end of our stories. We're going to take a quick look back. And, we have one folks jump into the comments. Kestrel Productions official. Welcome back. I like watching Jaws as well.
Yes.
Definitely a classic. And I will say, if you can afford the trip, the one reason to go to Universal Studios Japan is to ride the Jaws ride again.
My God. One day I need to do that. I want that hot dog too that everyone posts. Jaws hot dog.
The one in the bun that's shaped like a shark. All right. In addition, I want to, before we go, remind you, thank our sponsor, MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. Also remind you to please purchase your copy of our Epic Universe magazine in print or digital over at our website. And also please give us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you happen to listen to us, and give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. Also, please be sure to follow us at attractionsmagazine.com and search for Attractions Magazine on your favorite social media platforms. Carly, where can folks find you on the interwebs?
Yes, you could follow me at Adventures by Carly, and pre-order for my book is now live. So
congratulations. Shot to the top of the Amazon charts when it came out. Get your pre-orders in now.
Yes.
And pre-orders are not yet open for my 2027 books, but you can, which I just finished reading. The Disneyland, this or at least the first draft. There are many more drafts to come. But you can find me at Eskabursky or at The Unofficial Guides and pick up copies of my 2026 books right now at theunofficialguides.com. And until next time, we hope you folks stay safe, try something new, but most importantly, have fun. We will see you again next time. Bye. Bye.